Hey, Dr. Evelyn here, and let's get ready to do some exercises that you can be doing at home. Okay, standing nice and tall like we have a string pulling at the crown of our head, getting as much length as we can. We're going to be measuring the rib cage to the ASIS, this distance of our abdomen. So go ahead and put your hands there. And you're going to take a deep breath in, getting as long in the spine as possible. And as you exhale, you want to maintain that space. So you don't want your back to round forward to crunch down on that space. You're breathing in and it's getting wider from front to back, but not causing your spine to move at all. You're staying tall and stretched out. Now we're going to add a hinge. So we want to prepare our legs by adducting, pulling them towards one another. And our knees are faced out, so we're really using our glutes to do that as well. We get our measuring sticks. We take our tall breath. We get as long as we possibly can. And then we begin to send the hips back. And we're maintaining this pull between the legs. So as you can see, it's not a rounding of the low back. Again, it's a long spine. We're maintaining those measuring sticks. We're activating our legs, and we're keeping our back as straight as possible as we send the hips posteriorward. Again, long spine like a rod from head to tailbone. So this is showing what the movement actually is within our spine. So would be if you were moving your low back, rounding and compressing your low back, which is not what we're doing. We're hip hinging, which means we're using the hip joints proper, moving from the hip. So your whole back stays neutral as you use your hips, your glutes, your hamstrings to move your body. If you want to do this in a deeper way, I highly recommend using a chair. It's the same thing, but you can have a little bit more confidence sending your hips backwards and getting your weight behind you if you have a chair or something in front of you to counterbalance you so that you don't feel like you're going to fall backwards when you do this. And just keep sending those hips back, creating that really long spine. Again, we can do this as an exercise. We can make it a little bit more challenging by bringing our arms up forward again. Long spine, maintaining the space in our abdomen, no rounding, but bringing the arms up adds an extra challenge. And you can make this more of an exercise by doing good mornings, which are repeated hip hinges. Remember using the glutes and hamstrings to pull us up as we are activating our whole posterior chain, sending our hips backwards. Hips back, getting our knees are still getting back behind our ankles, and we're sending it back. And this is a good morning where you repeat this slow movement, keeping that spine so long and neutral. Here's an exercise that can help you gain other strength for your squat. So you're maintaining that decompression breath. You're using strength in your body, sending your hips back still, but doing a side lunge. Our ultimate goal is to be able to do a functional movement squat, which looks a lot different than the squats you probably do regularly. We start with that hip hinge, we start with that decompression, we send the hips back. And if you need to start with a chair to help you balance, please do. And you're trying to go all the way down, keeping a neutral spine. If you can't go all the way down yet, that's totally okay. Let me break it down a little bit more. So you're starting with a little bit wider than hip distance apart, shoulder width apart. And we're again using our glutes to keep our knees facing outwards so that they don't collapse in. We have activated legs here, okay? We're gonna do our decompression. We're making a long spine, Taking a nice deep breath in, and then we're sending the hips backwards behind our legs. We're really activating our whole posterior chain, not letting our back collapse. If you have gotten to the point where you can bring your arms up, do so. If you're not there yet, that's okay. And we want to go down, straight down as far as we can. And then use our glutes to squeeze our legs back up. Okay? So to show you the feet on this, and to show you where the knees are, they're tracking outward, okay? So really sending the hips back, the butt back, strong and controlled, going straight down, keeping the knees facing out. And using the glutes to squeeze and come up. Here's the side view. So again, we want our knees outward. We're using our glutes to engage. We want a tall, decompressed spine, head high, chest up. We're sending the hips back. I want you to look at the knees in comparison to the ankle. I'll show a close-up view of this again. You are not rounding your back forward. Your chest is up, 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 and you're slowly gliding down. Straight line, okay? Using those legs to come back up. Now here's the close-up. You can watch the legs. Watch where the knee tractions to the ankle. Watch where the hips are in comparison to the knees. Behind. The entire time, they're behind. And squeezing with those glutes to come back up. Excellent. All right, now we're going to switch into some core work. So we are going to be on the floor or on a mat to do these next few exercises. Scoop the belly up and out, stomach to spine. Really keep that core engaged. When you lift your leg, no rotating of the pelvis. You want it to come straight up, and you do not want an arch in your back. You want to maintain a neutral spine. The whole work is maintaining that neutral spine. If you can, lift the contralateral arm, so the opposite arm of the leg that's up. But don't do it if you can't keep your back up. You need to be keeping your spine neutral during this time. It's a lot of hard work. You can hold it up to a minute, or you can be doing like this, where you're alternating arm and leg and continuing the exercise. This should be slow and controlled. Another awesome core exercise. Scoop out the belly. Keep your stomach to your spine, nice and flat. Engage by pulling the belly button to the spine to bring your legs up to a tabletop. The entire time you're keeping your belly in. You can go ahead by lowering one leg at a time. Again, a slow and controlled exercise. Don't let your back lift off the ground as you do this. That is the work. Okay, you can make it a little bit more challenging by engaging the contralateral arm. Breathing with every exercise. Really pulling from that spine and using the whole core in 360 degrees. Elongating the leg completely is another way to add a level of difficulty to this exercise. You should do 10 reps on each side. And now we are going to proceed on to more of our general postural exercises. Building upper back strength to fight against bad posture and also to keep your chest up while you are in your squat. So engage your pelvis, push your pelvis down into the ground, Keep your belly hollow, still that same decompression spine. And you're gonna slowly lift using your muscles of your mid-back. I'm not using my arms here, okay? My arms are simply to stabilize me, but they are not doing the pushing up. I'm using my back, keeping my chin tucked, keeping my whole spine neutral, using my glutes, using my core. Again, you can lift with the chest and hold it for a moment. Now, to show you that I wasn't using my arms, this is called an I position. You bring your arms straight out ahead. You can do this not on the floor. You can do this for more range of motion on a bed or on a box or on an exercise ball. This is a Y position, getting your subscapular muscles involved. And the last position is a T position, straight out. You're not letting your belly smoosh into the ground. You're actively holding your belly to your spine during this time. Last but most certainly not least, wall angel, okay? Taking one solid foot step away from the wall, getting your sacrum on the wall, getting your mid-back on the wall, and getting the back of your head on the wall so that you can also get your shoulders on the wall, your elbows on the wall, your wrists on the wall, and your hands. You're not arching, you're not letting your head come up. That is incorrect, okay? You're engaged, your sacrum is flat, your core is down, you're keeping your rib cage down and engaged. So you can see it even better here. Flat against the wall. We're pushing our sacrum, pushing your mid-back at, what would be the bra line or right below the scapula. You're keeping your rib cage from flaring up. So you're pulling the rib cage down, you're pulling the pelvis and rib cage together. Your head is flat. See the double chin? That is a retracted head. That is not a head that is extended back. Okay, so I'm going to show not letting an arch fall in your back. You're pulling that in. Not letting a high arch in the back, right? You're not letting your rib cage flare up. You're pulling that down. And you're definitely not letting your head tilt back. You're retracting it straight back, okay? And then getting shoulders, wrists, and hands on the ground or on the wall is the next step.